I think that's where the essence of this lies.
Like my life depends on that piece of dessert or that chocolate.
More than 70% of children today are coming to school without eating a breakfast.
We tried it for a bit, but
How did your heart feel today?
yeah, so please answer it.
Well,
Long before calorie counts, hormone panels, supplements, and health apps, there was rest, there was rhythm, there was food that nourished, and practices that grounded. What if the answer and the balance that we've all been looking for today is something that we can teach our children from the very beginning? Today, we're going back to our roots. We're talking about physical health, spiritual well being, and practices that will ground us. Today, we have with us somebody whose work sits so beautifully on the intersection of ancient Ayurvedic practices and modern technology, modern science, and everything modern. Karishma is an integrative nutritionist, a certified health coach, a practitioner of ancient Ayurveda, and a practitioner of Vedic Soul Chart readings. She not only helps people find their path, but she also helps people in their holistic nutrition and holistic living. Hi, I'm Sneha Javeri, your fellow mommy friend and the host of Mumma Approved, a podcast where I ask all your pressing questions to the best people in the business. Hi, Karishma. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel that today is going to be like the best episode ever.
thank you, Sneha. I'm really happy to be here. And I feel like today what we're going to do is something which is very close to my heart. We're going to actually speak about everything to do with science and soul, which is what I am at my core essence. And I'm really happy to do this.
Great. So let's dive into it. I've been thinking about this since last night. I want to know, what is a Vedic soul chart? What
Yes.
is it? And because you talk about it so much, so I want to know, what is this?
You know, more than talking about it, I actually do it.
Yes.
So what I do is, for anybody who chooses to work with me and my team,
Yeah.
along with their nutrition, their fitness, their, anything and everything to do with functional nutrition, medical science, research-backed things.
Of course.
What we also dive deep inside is the Vedic chart. What a Vedic chart is, it's like a blueprint. It's your soul print. We always talk about what to eat, what not to eat. We're never understanding the why of things,
Yeah.
and that's really important for us to understand.
Yeah.
As per our modern science, and also looking at a lot of patterns of health psychology, we've come to understand that our health is a fusion of a lot of things. It can't be boiled down to just one or two things.
Right.
It can't just be protein. It can't just be fats. It can't just be the new fad or trend.
Yeah.
The real question to ask here is the whys. Why are we like this? Why do we behave in certain ways? Why do we feel certain things? What is the outcome of all these whys?
Right.
When we create this Vedic chart, which is almost like, I would like to say it's a fusion of the biggest mediums that we have today in our Indian culture, which is Ayurveda, yogic science, and a bit in, mix of meditation, modern psychology, health psychology.
Right.
We fuse all these things together, and the biggest part over here is we're speaking about Jyotish science as well. I do not want to bring it down and say something like, oh, astrology. No, that's a completely different topic and conversation for another day.
Okay.
What we want to speak about is Jyotish science.
Yeah.
What is this? It's an understanding of how you behave. What are your certain characteristics? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are some opportunities? What are some threats in your life that you will be facing?
Yeah.
It's like a GPS.
Okay.
I like to call it the
Nice.
GPS of your soul.
Okay.
And once you know these things, you will slowly start understanding, why is it that I tend to consume so much of caffeine?
Yeah.
Why is it that my body automatically wants to have rajasic food so much? Why is it that my body naturally feels like I have a little bit of lethargy within me and I can't really seem to do anything about it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The gunas play a very big role in this. In Ayurveda, we have a whole branch of study which is known as the gunas. The three main ones are sattva, rajas, and tamas. They are a part of the Jyotish science as well. When we understand the core of a person, it could be an adult or a child or a family as a whole, we can actually address the things that they're so afraid to speak about. And now we've reached the stage where we're in the advent of AI. I think if you do not dig deeper, and if you do not look at a person from what they are within and what they cannot express, we're missing a very important link of emotional health,
Right.
which is the core crux of where all the diseases, disorders are beginning from. So, to wrap it up, I think it's the GPS of your soul.
Okay.
And we map that, we understand patterns, we read patterns, and we help you with the trajectory of what's going to come.
Wow.
So that we are better prepared. Nobody can change anybody's faith. Nobody can change anybody's faith or fate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what we can do is we can be better prepared for it.
Right.
And just imagine if you were a child again today.
Yeah.
If you were 5 years old and your parents knew exactly how you would behave in certain occasions, why your energy levels are like that, why your sleep cycle is like this, why that temperament is like that. Imagine the kind of change that they could have done at the age of 5. And today that would have molded you into a different person.
Wow. Yeah.
Your health could have been molded into a different person.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the essence of this lies. So when we say that we are working not just with modern research-backed functional nutrition and science, we're also putting in a lot of soul over here. The soul is coming in from here.
Right.
And I think each and every person, I've worked with so many families now, so many individuals, children as well. And I've seen that not only does physical ability of doing things, health parameters, deficiencies, food habits, relationship with food, not only does that get better, what gets better is your connection with yourself, your awareness with yourself,
Right.
you understanding your life's trajectory, being comfortable in who you are, what you are, and enhancing that
Yeah.
gets better with time and age.
Yeah, and I feel like whatever you do, like, you know, when you do, like, when it's a very modern approach, I found that there are lots of missing links, right? Like, especially because I have a really young child, so I've done this whole thing all over again, right? Where we're doing the sleep training, we're trying to do the right kind of food, we're now we have coaches for everything. So we are doing the food coach, the sleep coach, this coach, the parenting coach, everything. But
Yes.
there are missing links for an Indian family, I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe, of course, in the West and other parts of the world, maybe this is the complete answer and it's working out. But for us, in our ethnicity, according to me personally, I feel like there are some missing links where I feel that this maybe is true for most kids, but it's not working for mine. And then you talk to other mothers and they're like, oh, we tried it for a bit, but we've just gone back to our craziness again, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then when we do just the Ayurveda Indian way, like, you know, which of course we are not completely as aware as we should be about that part, there are missing links in that as well, because again, there's not enough awareness on that. So I feel like because you do the whole circle, it's the integrative nutrition, it's the, you know, being the coach, it's being the Ayurvedic practitioner, it's being the Vedic Soul Chart reader. I think this whole thing together, I'm assuming, is a beautiful amalgamation of what a child can do or what a parent can do for their child or for myself as a mother. I think it sounds like this could be the answer, you know, to what we've all been looking for.
Thank you for putting it so beautifully, Sneha. The answer, I'm not really sure if it's the answer, but I am sure about one thing.
Yeah.
When someone comes with any kind of health problem, emotional problem, mental health problem for their child or for themselves,
Yeah.
they come to you and they put in a lot of responsibility on you.
Right.
Even today,
Yeah.
with friends also, we find it so difficult to just sit and pour our heart out, right?
Yeah, of course.
To share our darkest, deepest problems with somebody.
Yeah.
And you know, when someone comes in and puts that responsibility on you,
Yeah.
you don't want to do it just from a topical area.
Yeah.
That's not how I would like to look at things or how I would like to help.
Yeah.
When someone comes in and puts their health's responsibility on you or their child's health's responsibility on you, I think as a practitioner, it is my not only duty but my heart's calling
Yeah.
that I will be able to help you in 180 degrees.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, you know, one of the things that you mentioned today, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that most of the moms have these, you know, worries.
Yeah.
And, you know, as moms, it's legit to have it. Because imagine a heart walking out of our body and we're watching it, you know,
Yeah.
walk
and
around.
That you are responsible for that, you know.
Yeah.
For the good, for the bad, it's like maa ne kuch kiya hoga. Like it's always the mother who is responsible for everything. So and you take the onus of that responsibility.
Yes.
You know. So yes, absolutely.
It's exactly that role.
yeah, yeah.
What I wanted to say is that it's an exact replication of that role.
Wow.
Because I feel
That's beautiful.
like the mother that people come to
Yeah.
when they have those kinds of problems. And you are a mother, and you're not just going to look at one aspect of your child, right?
No.
You're going to look at everything. You're going to understand why, what, how, when,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then you're going to intervene.
yeah.
And it's the same thing. And I think, answer or no answer, I know that when you come in with that kind of an emotion, sentiment, and practical knowledge,
Yeah.
there is nothing in the world
Yeah.
that can stop from that transformation to happen.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's so well put. Very, very well put. Thank you so much for that. So when you talk about Vedic counseling, right, how is that different from the counseling that we seek from in a normal sense? Like, how is that different? What is it that you do differently?
Yes.
And what is a typical, how does it look like when typically a mother brings a child in as for a consultation to you? What does it look like?
How is it different from other methodologies and way of doing things? Is that number one, we're not looking at the outer world only. We're now looking more into the inner world along with the outer world.
Yeah.
So, when we speak about, to connect this to one of Pack's stories, right?
Yeah.
I go to a lot of schools and we do a lot of workshops with children all across different ages, from the youngest to the eldest. And there is one common theme that I have realized with all these kids is that they say, because it's the alpha generation now, it's the Gen Z generation now, they're very aware, they're very intuitive, they're very aware, they see life in a very different way.
Right.
Which should be that. They're preparing for a world ahead which will require these things.
Correct.
They come back to us and tell us, thank you for this session. We've understood nutrition, mental health, psychology from a very nice angle today. But can you do this for our parents? Our parents don't seem to understand this.
Wow.
And when we have a conversation with our parents about these things, they always try to negate it. They always try to say that, oh, these are all just, fads. These are all just things that people talk on social media about. These are all just things where, we're not going to actually change our way of doing things. We're not going to change our patterns of doing things. You're living in my house and you will have to follow my rules.
Right.
And they're like, our parents really need to understand these things because certain things are affecting our health, certain things, certain environments, certain behaviors of our parents are affecting us.
Yeah.
So the question...
Which is so true.
Yes, it is. It is. That's how it is, right? You're a parent, and I think you understand this beautifully now that your children do not only listen to you, they do not only want to be with you physically, but they also observe you.
Yeah.
They also tap into every single emotion that you are feeling.
Absolutely.
That's how the children are.
It was so amazing that you said this because yesterday I was talking to somebody at the salon and she said, you know what, I don't know about you, but when I'm having a bad day, my child is having a bad day.
Yes.
When I'm having a great day, my child is having a great day.
Yes.
And I was like, I think that's all of us.
Yes.
And it's just sometimes we're not aware, as in properly aware that this is what's happening. But if you actually sit down and think about it, when I'm having a good day, my child is having a good day. And when I'm having a bad day, they're both crying. They're both screaming. It's like a banana republic in my house. It's like, what's happening? Like, does this have to happen today? But yes, it has to happen today only because you're not having the best day. And they're kind of, I don't know whether it's true, but
It is.
they feed off your energy, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They mirror your energy.
Yeah.
What they really do is that we always feel like, they are, maybe they are having their own tantrums, or which can be true sometimes.
Yeah.
They could be hungry, they could be hangry, they could be tired, right? So it comes out of that. However, the more common pattern that I have recognized is that they will amplify the emotion that you are feeling.
Wow. Yeah.
So when you sit with them and you're feeling low, tired, irritable, they catch on to it and they amplify it.
Wow.
because they are our mirrors.
And they are also our greatest teachers. If you don't want this to happen, you make sure this is not happening.
Yes.
So,
I'm so glad you said that
Yeah.
because they really are.
Yeah.
We always, most coaching models, right? The question that you were asking me also.
Yeah.
Most coaching models will tell you to work on your relationship with your partner. In therapy also, we look at childhood patterns, we try to unearth them, we try to look at our relationship with our parents, right? One major thing that we need to keep in mind now is that because we're in an age now where we have children as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Parents, partner has now become secondary. What has become first priority is the life that has come through us.
Right.
And they just come through us. They don't
Yeah.
come for us.
Yes. Yes.
That's one thing that we need to understand.
Yes.
So I'm glad that, you said that, there are teachers because you know what? They really are.
Yeah.
You will have to unlearn every single thing.
Yeah.
And you will have to learn things with them again.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to be able to do that because they are innocent.
Yeah.
They are highly intuitive.
Yeah.
They catch on to your emotions. They mirror them.
Yeah.
So with happiness, with sadness, with anything it is, before you only think of your partner as a mirror or as a reflection of your entire life,
Absolutely.
I would first like you to look at the relationship that you have with your child,
Right.
with the kind of emotions that your child is feeling.
Yeah.
I do this I've been teaching kids this very small breathing exercise every single time that I go and I do these workshops. We make sure we do this small little breathing exercise, and I always encourage parents. I tell them that every night before going to sleep, right, no matter how old your child is, I want you to sit with them, do a 5-minute breathing exercise. You both do it together. You can't expect to not do it and then, the child wanting to do it. It's like you're sitting on the phone and telling the child, do not use the screen. What bigger hypocrisy than this? So we will have to practice what we preach.
Yes.
Be the right kind of role models. But that 5-minute breathing exercise to wind down, and then one simple question: how did your heart feel today?
Yeah.
And listen to what the child says.
Yeah. And slowly, all the lies will come, the stories will come. I can picture this. I can picture what will happen when I ask this question.
Yes.
But I'm going to do this today. This is such a cute, such a lovely tip to connect, especially before bedtime, because usually bedtime it's a mixed bag of emotions. If any mother can listen to what I'm saying, because it's like, it's 8:30.
Yeah.
Go to sleep
Yeah.
now. Tomorrow is school.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, but I don't want her to sleep, if in a sad way. So
Yeah.
come, give mama a hug, before you go to sleep. And she's like, you just shouted at me. I don't want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag. But this routine possibly will bring a little more, sync
Yeah.
to the whole process,
Yeah.
where you're not kind of battling at bedtime.
Yeah. And when you listen to them,
Yeah.
when they give you their answer, and you being the mother and obviously very internally connected with the child, if you pay close attention, they will tell you a lot of things that they would not tell you in a general morning conversation, afternoon conversation, after school conversation.
Yeah.
They won't do that.
Yeah.
It'll be very different. So if you listen properly and you understand what they're saying, it becomes a map for you to then slowly and steadily change your own patterns and your own behaviors
Right.
that will enhance this connection.
Yeah.
So, to answer the second part of your question, when we work with somebody, and especially when a child comes in, not only are we working with the child, but we're working with the parents as well.
Yeah.
We are making the Vedic charts for the child and the parents. We're understanding behavioral patterns. We're understanding what the energy levels are, what the sleep cycle is, how are they processing this energy within their body, what are the potential strengths, what are the potential weaknesses. Along with nutrition, fitness, sleep hygiene, we're doing this entire thing from a very, very holistic avenue. And this brings out the best in that entire family.
Right.
It's the sync.
Right.
What we're doing is we're making you recognize the natural rhythm which you're supposed to be following and bringing everything into sync.
Nice. Yeah. So, of course, we've known about these ancient Ayurvedic practices for time immortal.
Yeah.
We forgot it somewhere down the line. Now, again, we are refinding this in our lives. How can we try and incorporate and create awareness with our children
Yes.
from a young age
Yes.
about the importance of these three pillars of yoga, meditation, Ayurveda.
Yes.
And when I say Ayurveda, I'm going to use the term loosely, where I'm going to kind of
Yes.
I'm going to try and use it loosely. By what I mean is, like, I'm going to include the food, the
Everything.
practices, everything.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you think that we can incorporate this? You know how feisty kids are. You know how it is. Like, to
Yes.
get them to do one thing, it's like, oh God. But I feel slowly, if of course they see us doing it, that's number one, I'm assuming, as you just pointed out. But number two, how can we encourage them to kind of just gently nudge them towards this kind of holistic wellness?
Great question. I have been reading so many recent articles now, which have been telling us that, there are actual scientists that have been doing their researches and telling us how the current Gen Z or the next Alpha, Beta, whatever generation that comes in, is going to require ancient practices, grounding rituals, and holistic avenues more than anybody has ever needed them. Let's give you 3 steps to do this, right? As a parent, no matter what the age of your child is. Of course, the overlining, or I would say the silver lining to this entire question would be that you will have to replicate what you say. We cannot. I often see parents where they would be having some or the other kind of soft drink. They're drinking a soft drink, and they will tell their child, "You're not supposed to be drinking a soft drink."
I'm guilty of this.
You see what I mean?
I'm very, very good in general.
Yeah.
But when there's something yummy made at home, I cannot not have that Diet Coke or that sparkling water with a slice of orange in it. And I'm just like, oh, this is my treat at the end of the day. Please don't take it away. And she's sitting right there and she's like, I want to have sparkling water. And I'm just like, this is actually not that nice for you. She's like, then why are you having it?
Yes. Thank you for the honesty, Sneha. I'm so happy you're saying this. So many parents try to cover this up.
No, what's there to cover? It's a fact. It's true.
I'm so happy that you were honest about this, and you kind of said that this is something that you're also doing. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But point made, right? Like, it happens. It happens with lots of parents. This is one example. There are many like this.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you're doing this, let's say, for example, if you were somebody who was having a soft drink on a regular basis, and then, you're also trying to preach to your child that, oh, you know what, soft drinks are not nice for your health.
Yeah.
They're not good for your health, and you're not supposed to be having this. Yeah. And it's going to cause health problems and things like that. And that child is looking at you and like, seriously?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Right?
What kind of double standards are these?
So I'm saying that, the topmost thing would be that it'll be nice for you to, let's take your example.
Yeah.
If you felt like having sparkling water today, or you felt like having a soft drink with your meal today, right? The why.
Yeah.
You have a conversation with her about the why.
Yeah.
You tell her that this is an occasional drink that I'm having right now with my meal is because I feel like today I've had a day where, it's taken a lot out of me. I'm tired. And I feel like that this one thing is going to make me feel a little nice. It's not good for my health, and it's not going to be good for your health as well. In the future, when you feel like this, I don't want you to do the same thing because I know I'm doing this from a pattern. I'm going to break this pattern very soon. But because I'm doing this today, and you're looking at me, doing this, all I want to say is that this is an occasional thing. It's not a regular habit. Because when we make this into a regular habit, it has repercussions. So, when we explain the why to the kids, for the longest time, I have been telling people, and I've been telling my parents as well, that when I'm sure this has happened to you as well. While growing up, they would instill fear in us from a religious perspective. They would instill fear in us from a spiritual perspective. And it changed the algorithm of how we looked at these subjects. One of the reasons why I actually went out and studied all these things. I have studied Jyotish. I have studied spirituality. This is not something that we're looking at 5 videos online and, we've now got some knowledge. No, I have spent years studying these things. And that's where the confidence and that's where the work comes from of actually helping people out in real practical sense, And, when I learned and I studied these things, I got to know we believe superstitions just because they've been passed down through generations.
Yeah.
My mother is saying a black cat will pass the road. Do not cross the road. And I'm like, why?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
She doesn't have an answer for this.
Yeah.
There's no scientific, logical explanation to this.
Yeah.
It's just a black cat.
Yeah.
And then she's like, my mom had told me this.
Yeah.
And we've been listening and doing this for years. But I'm like, why?
And there's no answer.
There's no answer.
Yeah. And today's kids are not like. So I don't have a similar experience because in fact my mom was you. Because she asked her mom all
Fantastic.
these questions, and she today is doing her PhD in Jainism and all of that because of these whys. Where she was like literally she was called an atheist by her family because she said I refuse to do any of this because y'all cannot give me a logical explanation. So she, in her quest for logical explanations, like you, she actually studied and has now become and still is one of the most modern thinking, the most, I could be a little regressive sometimes in my thoughts, but she's one of the most progressive thinking nani that the kids can have.
That
you
is
know?
that is so good to hear.
Yeah, so I feel the why, as you're saying, and today's kids are not going to
They do not.
accept.
They
They're
will
going to say,
ask you the
tell us
why. They will ask you the why.
Yeah.
And you better be ready with the answer.
Yeah.
Anything that you throw at
So
them.
every time I tell them, okay, we have to do this. Oh, really? Does Nani do it? I said, yeah, and you can go and ask Nani why. Because I also don't know why. I'm not asking. I only follow. I'm a follower. I'm not an asker. But then Nani has the answer. Why? Like, which I think they need to know why.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
The
right.
reason why is, like your daughter and all the kids of the new generation, they will want to know the why. They want to know the logic and they want to know the practical need and use of that particular thing that you have told them.
Yeah.
So when you come from that angle, one is be a good role model.
Yeah.
If there are things that you are doing out of habit, please sit and explain these things and speak about the why with the kids. Right? One more thing to add to this is that every single time that they have a question or anything which is, you might find it, redundant or you might find no logic inside it, take some time to find the answer for it.
Yeah.
And give them the logical, practical answer. Not an emotional one, not a religious one,
Yeah.
not something that comes from what you have been told,
Yeah.
but something that is rooted in logic.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode has done as much for you as it has done for me. If you like content like this, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.